This is the OBAs podcast, the King's podcast.
Welcome, guys, to our very first episode. Today we have a very special guest. You are special, my guy. Um, his name is Emmanuel Chukwure, aka Steve Jobs. He is an IT project manager. Allow me to toot your horn for a second. He's an IT project manager, financial advisor, and photography enthusiast. He's the co-founder of Circle Studios and the owner of Athena Heritage, a financial consulting firm. Mr. Jobs, how do you feel?
I was hearing you introduce me, and I'm like, I don't know who that is.
It is you. You are that person.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for actually being my very first guest. This has been in the works for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I would say you are an inspiration to start this. And okay, so you might know this, right? I listened to some of the things that you've done in the past.
Yeah.
I cherish the conversations that we have, and honestly, this relationship, talking to you, you being my friend, has been one of the things that gave me the confidence to feel like I can have meaningful conversations. So thank you first, and how do you feel about being on camera?
Like first of all, thanks for the opportunity. How do I feel about being on camera? I'll be honest, I'm very shy, right? So I don't know if like you'd see this, but like I'm playing with my fingers and trying to like stay conscious. And I have a hard time keeping eye contact, but I think it's fine, right? Like that's my personality, and like it doesn't harm anybody, so like it's all good. So yeah, we'll have fun.
Okay, thank you. Um, one of the streams that I think this podcast, or I want this podcast to cover, is information technology.
Okay.
And I would like to start with this because, like I mentioned before, one of your nicknames is Steve Jobs. And you have that name because you have a very good reputation for being very tech savvy and being like on the edge of everything new that you are interested in as it relates to tech.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to have eventually transitioned to a project manager in Canada, given your roots from Nigeria? How does it feel to then have that name, come here, and actually be an IT project manager?
To be honest, it feels very surreal, right? I'll be like, for me, when I think back to like when I was in school, I know that I did my best in everything that I did, and I did a number of things. But I never really gave a lot of thought to like what career or like what specific niche I might be in, right? And to the name Steve Jobs, right, I would give credit for the fact that I did put a lot of hard work into being able to understand like the market that I served, and also like the technical components of delivering the best services, right, to people. But I think largely that name grew more like similar to the actual character Steve Jobs. I grew more from my presentation skills than anything else, right? So an example would be a huge demarcation being other persons, you drop your laptop, like they get it fixed or whatever, and then you move on. Like when you come to me, right, like you have to fill out the form, right? It makes you a little bit more conscious, and then it's more of an experience that you get to remember, right? So I did kind of like a lot of presentation, sales, branding, things like that, right? Like packaging, but not in the wrong connotation, right? So, but now coming around doing a lot of different things and now being a project manager in the IT space, I think it's fitting, right?
Because it is very fitting.
I'm very, and it's not even because of like tech experience, right? It's more about, I'm interested in go, right? And
what is that?
So it's like get things done, right? Like continuous, continual improvement and efficiency, right? And I think that's what project management is all about, right? It's like there are many multiple moving pieces you get, and a lot of them are out of shape. And you have to make sure that you have a good handle on everything, nothing slips through the crack, and then like you're getting things done, right? So I think it's fitting. I don't think it's my limit, and that's not to say that like it's like a small role or anything, right? But I think there are more opportunities for me to kind of continue to expand my tentacles. So this is where I've morphed to, but we'll see what I am next year.
Before we talk about like where you are and like what you do at work, I want to touch a bit on your background.
Yeah.
And that's your undergraduate degree, right? Which is very different from what you are today and what you do now.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, like for people that don't know, you had your background in accounting,
Yes.
which speaks to your financial advisement today.
Yeah.
So your background in accounting wasn't exactly, for lack of a better word, useless. But but we can as well say that your degree in accounting was useless in your pursuit of IT and your pursuit of your expertise, because you didn't just start off as a project manager, right?
Yeah.
You went through other like entry roles and eventually built up in the IT space to project management.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say about your background in accounting? And if you had a chance to go back, would you still do a bachelor's in accounting?
Okay, there are many questions there. I'll start with the most recent one. Okay, if I had a chance to go back, would I still do accounting? I would say yes, right?
Yeah.
I'll do accounting, and it's not really about the degree, right? When I say, okay, if I had the chance to go back to university, would I still do accounting? The reason I'm saying yes is because thinking to my university experience, right? I really enjoyed the experiences that I had, the people that I spent time with, right? And the what's it called now? Like the memories that I built, right? Like those things are very unique, and it is particular. Like I can only reference the experience that I had, which is studying accounting in the university that I did, and the opportunities and the memories and everything else that accumulates that experience, right?
Yeah.
That experience is priceless. I would want to do it over and over again. I don't know something different, so I can't wish for something different, right? Maybe I'm being somewhat safe. But to my degree, right? So yes, I have an undergraduate degree in accounting. It is it has had the least impact in where I'm at career wise today. But I don't think it's entirely. I don't think it's, for lack of a better word, useless.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I call it useless.
So it's not. No. So you know, one very important thing that I've learned recently is if someone says, "Oh, that's not bad," it does not automatically equate that that's good. Right. So if I say it's not useless, it doesn't mean that it's useful. Right. Yeah. But the way I'll put it is, a lot of times when you're getting towards like the next step in your life, people are always trying to focus on what they want to do, what they can do better. I've had a different learning path, which is I've had opportunities to do things to eliminate, right? So it's like, I never want to do this in my life again, right? So I think accounting was that thing for me where I did it. I'm like, never. Like, do you get, like, it was clear that I don't want to do this. So I think it's eliminated where I want to spend more of my time. I know that I was interested in money, but I was interested more in the psychology of money and how money works. Do you get in its intangible nature? Right? Not really the bookkeeping aspect of things, right? So I didn't have a good understanding of that, like getting into things, which is why I got into like accounting, where like there are very rigid structures. You get in talking about like in how I deal with financial advisory right now, right, with clients, it's a lot more flexible. You get, it's like, oh, there's this niche, or there's this and it requires a solution. Do you get? And I'm working within multiple policies and frameworks and trying to design a solution. Do you get? Like there's a lot more flexibility, like to solution things than accounting that can feel very kind of like tight box, right? So I think it was one of those things deciding, okay, I never want to do this, you get, rather than, so it doesn't have a direct correlation, right, or like direct contribution to where I'm at, but like it's just one of those things. I still appreciate a lot of the knowledge that I have in it, and just to put it out there, talking about degrees, I am one of those weird people that enjoy learning, right? So I have a handful of degrees, interestingly. So I have my undergrad in accounting. I have an advanced degree in entrepreneurship. I have another advanced degree from the University of Waterloo in economic development, and I have like a bunch of certifications with that. So I kind of enjoy learning. Some of them are great, others are like, I never want to do this again, but it's all in the back pocket.
Nice. Yeah. Speaking about certifications, You mentioned your degrees, but you didn't mention your certs. In that transition that you went, or in your journey from accounting into IT, how much of a role did the certs have in you being perceived as employable?
Okay, I think that's a very good question, and I could spend a long time diving into it. But to summarize, I'll put it this way: it's a catch-22, right? Where you require the certifications to get a good job, but you do require a good job with valuable experience to be able to actually get the certification,
Yep.
right? So it's like, which do you get first? Which is more valuable? But interestingly, these certification companies kind of encourage you to have these things, and they have partnerships with these large organizations having them list those things as a requirement, right?
Yeah,
So it's
and that's
more
in the job posting.
yeah, like so it's kind of like it's a cycle that feeds each other, right?
Yeah.
My honest opinion is there are more experienced and valuable like potential recruits and like people out there like human resources,
Yeah.
right, who would do a much better job than certified people,
That is
right?
true. I agree.
But if you're thinking about the game of life, right? Because it's ultimately a game, right? And like as soon as you realize that you're playing, you can start to get adapted to the rules, right? I would say if you have an opportunity to get certification as well. Yeah.
So
But
you
like,
think these certifications are like an added bonus for sure?
yes, it is
But
not
it's not.
the main
It's not a
thing.
guarantee that like
No.
you're actually
People that know their stuff
capable
would
of
know
doing
their
the
stuff,
job.
but it takes a little bit to stand out, right? So yeah.
Okay, I'll take a very tiny break to talk about this amazing product that we have here.
Yeah.
Guys, our very first sponsor, the first guys that took us where we had nobody, even before we started. If you're looking for a place or you're looking for a product for pepper, please patronize these guys. They're called Pepper Them. The pepper tastes amazing. You can get their product very inexpensive at pepperdem.ca. I would include a link somewhere in the description. I don't even know how that works yet. But yeah, please patronize these guys to support this podcast. Thank you. So I think on that note, we can end this. But I want to give people the opportunity to connect with you. I know that you are not like he's literally the most introverted person I know.
Chronic introversion.
Chronic introvert is the description. Do you have an Instagram account? Do you have like where can people follow you?
So to be honest, even my father has complained about this. My father finds it hard to reach. My name on LinkedIn is Emmanuel Chukwure. But the best way to reach me would be office at Athena Heritage Consulting Co. .com. That's a mouthful. Yeah.
And you spell Athena as
ATHENA.
ATHENA.
Yeah.
You heard it, people.
Yeah.
Please reach out to this young man. Thank you, JB, for being my very first guest.
You're welcome, and thanks for having me. This was fun.